What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we're back with my stupid cheap Bentley Continental GT. This is a 2005. It is the W12. It's got all the great supercar stats. It's all-wheel drive. This thing on paper is absolutely phenomenal, but there's a reason I gave something like $8,500 for it. And we found that out in the first video. In fact, it was so bad that after making the first video on this car, I parked this thing and I never messed with it again. That is until yesterday when I had an idea, and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but when we first got the car, we took it and we did a 10-mile run with it. And I noticed a few things. When I got the car, the suspension was all the way up in the air like this. I mean, maxed out all the way up. It wasn't like that in the pictures at the auction, and I have never been able to get the car to level itself out. That was problem number one. Problem number two, the engine is only running on one bank. If I remember correctly, it's probably been like 4 months, 5 months since I messed with this car. If I remember correctly, this half of the engine is running. So it's running on 6 cylinders over here. The 6 cylinders over here are dead. Now, that's a weird European car thing to do because the engine management system actually operates each side of the engine independently from one another, kind of like the human brain. It's like one half controls this side, one half controls that side. I never really thought much about that either, other than obviously we've got some wiring issues. And then there's the electronics issues. This thing's got tons of error codes, tons of CAN bus faults, communication errors, just basically everything you'd expect from a Bentley, at least a cheap $8,000 Bentley. And I say cheap because if you go looking around for a car like this, and this is a clean title car, it's only got 88,000 miles on the odometer. Looking around for something like this, guys, you're going to pay a minimum $25,000, $30,000 for a car like this. So being able to buy one for $8,500 with a clean title is absolutely incredible. But this seems like it's got some seriously complicated problems going on, and I think I might have potentially figured out what it was, and I'm going to try to fix it today in this video for free. Now, you hear YouTubers all the time clickbaiting you with fixed for free or fixed with Amazon parts, fixed blah, blah, blah. All right? And I am not doing that to you today. I want you to take a look in the trunk. I'm genuinely going to try to fix this car for free today in this video. Do you see anything missing? If you said batteries, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, when I got the car, I never checked the batteries. Why? I don't know. I was walking by this car just yesterday, and it occurred to me, I have never tested the batteries in this car since I got it. Not ever. Now, this is the small one. Believe it or not, the small one is the starting battery. But then there's this big one. This big one sits on the driver's side. This controls all of the electronics. This controls everything. And if voltage starts fluctuating, voltage drops, if anything goes wrong with this battery, it will send the car into a frenzy. It will go into a limp mode, a safe mode, and it can absolutely cut off half of the engine. It can absolutely cause the air suspension to be defaulted to the max position. And you want to know something funny? I checked this battery yesterday, and when I checked it, it had 0 volts, stone cold dead. Yet, the car would still start, the car would still run, the car would still drive, but it had tons of errors and basically nothing worked. So, I put it on my, you see I've got a bunch of NOCO products here, right? I put it on my NOCO Genius Pro 25, not sponsored. I'm just telling you, not sponsored. There's no links, okay? But I put it on this, and I charged it. And it kind of came back. And then once it was charged, I put it on a 12-volt repair cycle. It spent all night doing the repair. Then this morning, I put it on charge again, fully charge it, and I'm happy to say this battery first is from 2019. Okay, it's 2026. This battery's still pushing out 650 cold cranking amps, and this is a 900 cold cranking amp battery. Not bad for an old battery, but there is a problem with both of these batteries. And that is, if you take a look, do you see anything on here that says AGM? No. Same thing with this one. There's nothing that says AGM. These are flooded lead acid batteries. These are a big no on European cars. Those cars are tuned for AGM batteries. They charge at a higher rate, and they will absolutely fry these batteries. So instead of going out and buying $350 in AGM batteries, we're going to put both of these fully charged, fully reconditioned batteries back in the old Bentley. We're going to cross our fingers. We're going to hope that the problem all along with the majority of this car's issues was simply this battery. Now, believe me, I know what you're thinking. I can see the comments coming in already on the keyboard. There's no way a dead battery is going to cause this many problems. There's no way that simply charging the battery is actually going to fix this car. And I'll say this, you want to make a bet? Would you like to make a bet? Bet me in the comment section down below. I'm going to hook these batteries up. Now, this car is going to be very pissed off. It does not like being left stone cold dead with no batteries at all. I have no idea what's going to happen when we connect these batteries. It's going to take me about 10 minutes. These are not that big battery right there. It is a very difficult battery to get in and out. I've checked all the fuses. I've made sure everything is good. Let's hook up the batteries and find out if this car comes back to life. Batteries are installed, and I'm going to tell you again, that big one, they make this just too difficult to change a freaking battery in a car, man. Not Dodge difficult, where they buried them in the fender and under the bumper, but still kind of rough, man. I'm noticing lights. Here's something that didn't used to work. The remote keyless entry did nothing, and it worked. Is it locked? Remote keyless entry did not work before. The key fob did absolutely nothing. I've got my scan tool hooked up because inevitably there's going to be a ton of codes. Uh-oh. Ah. Ready? Spitting and sputting a little bit. She sounds good. She is spitting a little. Now, do you think the air suspension will ever work again? That's a big one for me. I would love, I mean, the screen doesn't work, so you have no control over any of this. But I was kind of hoping that the spoiler just closed. That didn't used to work either. So we're making progress. The suspension, however, does not seem to have changed any. Let's roll that window down. They work. That's good news. The car is running. We only have, 1, 2, 3, 4 warning lights on the dash, and it's out of gas. Let's see if it goes into gear. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, she's doing something. Let's turn it off. Let's turn the ignition on. We're partway there, guys. I don't know what's going on with this suspension. This may be something we got to get on the lift. And now something under the hood is making noise. Perfect. Let's go to diagnostics. Let's go to a VIN ID. Let's give this thing a minute. We're going to pull up the Bentley section. We're going to let it do its thing, and hopefully we can figure out what codes are in here, clear them, take it on a quick drive, and see what comes back. Now, this is the fun part. We have 139 codes. Let's take a look. Engine control module. Incorrect coding. No signal communication. Intake air system leak. Cooling fan 1, random multiple cylinder misfire. Cylinder 5 misfire. Implausible signal from ECM2, ambient air temperature sensor, pressure sensor for brake booster. Transmission electronics, Tiptronic switch implausible. Brakes, steering angle sensor. Then we have door control modules. We have lots of bumper key limit, activation of engine start stop, so control module, diagnostic. This goes on and on. Seat adjustment, doesn't matter. Air conditioning, oil pressure actuator faulty. Left flat motor, okay, let's just skip that. Vehicle voltage, terminal 30 implausible. Engine control module 2, So this is good because we are actually reading both modules. We could not do that before. Random multiple cylinder misfire. And then a relay electrical error in circuit for the engine control module as well. Level control system, no signal. Perfect. So that's probably what's wrong with the ride height. Gateway, again, level control system, no signal. And just a ton. TPMS comfort systems, I mean, it is insane. Level control system says diagnostic interface for data bus, no signal. Ride control system, lower limit not reached. Steering angle sensor, no signal communication. And then drive battery voltage, lower limit not reached. There are tons of other codes. So I'm going to go ahead and clear these codes. It's going to take, 3 weeks for this to get done because this car reads super, super slow. So I'll spare you guys the time. We'll come back when it's done. We'll see what codes are left. So I'm currently running a test on the suspension. We're trying to get the suspension to come back down. So I've started a test that's called sequential active test for the ride level control system, and it's currently running, and it says it's attempting to bring the ride height back to normal. Now, I hear the compressor. I'm standing here staring at the car. I don't see the ride height going back to normal. So that's anything over here? No? In fact, if anything, I think it looks like it's going up and it's making it worse. Now, I know the video quality really sucks right now. It is 10:30 at night. I've been out here for hours working on this car. When I say working, I don't mean like with tools like this I'm about to use. I mean on a scan tool. I have spent hours between ChatGPT and this code reader trying to figure out what is going on with this car. And you guys may notice something if I get you down here. Do you see that the ride height has changed? How about that? The problem now is it's too low instead of too high. So I ran, and it took a while to figure out how to do this, but I ran this thing through a battery of tests. And if we exit out of this, and by the way, the majority of the problem with this car was the steering angle sensor. The steering angle sensor on this was reporting that it had a voltage problem on terminal 30. And I checked through the scan tool. You're able to look and see what the voltage is on terminal 30. And it was 13.6 volts. So I know there's voltage there. And then I remembered Mercedes, BMW, European cars, when the batteries are disconnected, they lose voltage. What happens? They forget the steering angle sensor. It has to be recalibrated. Well, I recalibrated it, and that cleared out like 90% of my codes. I'm down to like 26 codes out of like 140. All right, so we're doing good. Once that code was cleared, a lot of things came back to life in here and started working again. So as I'm going through this battery of tests, trying to figure out what's going on with the suspension, I got the suspension to go down, I got it to go up, I got to do all kinds of things. But one thing I noticed, I kept getting this low reading, and I'm going to show you this for a minute. If we go into RCS 34, this is the suspension leveling, and we'll be able to go in here, we'll go through guided, it's like a guided tour. If you don't understand how all this works, these all-tells have a great, down at the bottom, guided functions, okay? This is wonderful because it will give us a list of things that we can do, and we can monitor inputs from the air suspension. And we can look at, what is it? Sensors, switches, I think it's 3. Let's find out. Yes, level sensors, that's what we want to look at. And we're going to look at height data. You're going to see something really, really wrong here in about 2 seconds. All right, so front left, 96, right, 79, rear, 109, rear, 117. See how the front right is 79 versus 96 right here? Well, let me climb now. As soon as I saw that, I knew exactly what it was. I didn't need ChatGPT anymore. I watched Sam Crack's videos, and I've seen this before. So that right there is a ride height sensor. And if something looks off about it, that's because, watch this. Oh, it's literally off. This sensor is not connected to anything. And that is our problem. And that is what I'm going to try to fix here. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to take this hammer, and this is difficult to do because there is no room with this car on the ground right now. Great, my light. It's my only source of light. I got to get this hammer in here. I got to try to... I can't do this with you guys in here. Do you see it now? Now that sucker's on there. Ugh. I'm soaking wet. I'm playing out here in the freaking mud, man. It's rained. It is so wet. And I'm just laying in all this crap out here. I mean, look at this. This is all just mud that I'm crawling around. My pants are wet. This is dedication right here. So what we have now, we should have normal ride heights. We have, yes, we have 80 and 98. So what we need to do is we need to get out of this, and we need to do, it's not going to do the adaptive suspension. It won't do the calibration because we still have a code. So what we can do is activate outputs. Let's turn the ignition off and on. Give me just a minute to get everything set up for this, guys, and then we'll do it together. So this is kind of a pain. I wish it was easier to do, but we're going to do a fill the air suspension because my reservoir is too low to run the test I was going to do earlier. So we tell it done. This is going to fire up the air compressor, and it's going to fill up the reservoir so that it can actually fill up the air suspension. The current reservoir pressure is at 7.161 bar. That's going to get up to over 14 bar. And then once it gets to that general place, it should start raising. I mean, the back suspension actually already looks fine, but it should start raising this front suspension up. And then hopefully we can get this thing to somewhat resemble a normal ride height. And this is part of what's taking me so long. I have to wait on the air compressor. As it's filling up the reservoir, it's getting too hot. It's not overheating, but the car doesn't want it to go above a certain temperature. So every time the compressor reaches 111 degrees, it cuts off the compressor. Then it sits here and monitors the temperature, and as soon as the compressor dips down to 99 degrees, it fires back up and continues again, and then it's wash, rinse, and repeat. Hopefully, this is the last cycle before the reservoir is filled and the car starts coming up off the ground. All right, it says the fill procedure is complete. You push done, and now it tells us to perform an ignition cycle. So that just means we're going to turn the car off and back on, and when we do that, the car should raise up off the ground on its own. What a pain. Now, the car is in control of the ride height again, so if it does everything properly, there it is, it's raising up. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Perfect. Now, this will probably take a little while for the car to get to its normal ride height, or maybe this is the normal ride height, I don't know. I kind of like the stance of this though, but I think the car is going to be, a little pissed off. I think it wants a little more gap than that. I don't know, that doesn't look bad. This is the best this car has looked since it got here. That might be right, guys. I mean, the back is definitely higher than the front. I don't know, I think the front's sitting too low. What do I know, man? I work on old Fords and Chevys. I don't know anything about this. Let's tell it done. This will take another 20 minutes to connect. Actually, it came back and it completed okay. The ride height check is good. The car is happy. End of test. No kidding. So this is the ride height it's supposed to be. Let's see if it'll do a ride height calibration now. I don't think it's going to, because there is a code for some kind of a communications failure, probably due to the CAN bus or something, or the switch ignition on being broken. Yeah, diagnostic codes are present. So this is where it needs to be. So the question now is, does the adaptive suspension work when you click on the ride control buttons right here? If we push this, it doesn't do anything. So the adaptive suspension appears to work. It just doesn't. You can push the button over and over and it does not do anything. All right, well, such is life. You know what this means? I think this means we should be able to pick up our stuff and take this car for a ride and see how it feels. I ran it through a battery of tests and everything came back fine. The suspension is working like it's supposed to. Everything appears to be good. We have only 3 warning lights on the dash, if you can believe that, in an old Bentley. Check engine light is on for 1 code, an ambient air temperature sensor. The EPC light, I have no idea. Electronic parking, I don't know what that is or why that's on. And we have a TPMS light. And that's it. Guys, the ride height is normal. This is the first time. Whoa. Oh, did I mention it's got all 12 cylinders back? Well, this is going to be interesting. I've never driven it with all of its cylinders before. Half of the engine was always dead, and according to ChatGPT, that happens as a safety mechanism when the modules die from a dead battery. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. Wow. So the EPC light went out, but the tire pressure light stayed on. So we lost one of our lights after simply getting on the road and moving. I did not expect that. I've had one of these before. I had like an 08 Continental GTC, and I guess I should have remembered these things haul, man, for as big and heavy as they are. Let's try to, can we roll the windows up so we don't have all this noise? There we go. Nice and quiet. And we're getting out on the highway. It's, you know, what time? 11 o'clock or so at night. I don't want to beat on her too hard, but let's just give her. Wow, dude. Wow. Oh. I can't believe it. Charging the battery brought half of my engine back to life. Literally fixed it for free. It didn't cost anything. I did not go out and spend hundreds of dollars on batteries. I simply used my Autel. I rejuvenated the battery, brought it back to charge, put both batteries in the car fully charged, and here we are. We have 12 cylinders again. No misfires. All of the modules are communicating with each other like they're supposed to. And when you floor it, okay, easy does it, girl. Oh man, did I mention earlier this is twin turbo? I don't know if I mentioned that this is twin turbo. Yeah, it's twin turbo. It's twin turbo, all-wheel drive. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And the fact that we're cruising right now with only a check engine and a TPMS light on, and the check engine light is only on for an ambient air temperature sensor. That's it. Now, of course, by the time we get back to the house, I'll run a diagnostic again, and I'm sure there'll be more. And the suspension, it rides like a freaking dream, guys. I'm not going the full 10 miles. Remember, this thing's also got bad tires. Let's not forget that. This kind of sort of makes me want to spend some money on it. And I probably shouldn't, because I could probably sell this car right now and make a profit. You know, I don't see how I'm going to lose on it, especially now that I've got most, not all. Boy, she climbs. Wow. Wow, that climbs fast. The hood is held down with a ratchet strap. I'm sitting doing 80 miles an hour. I'm putting her through her paces, man. It's been a long time coming. I have been avoiding working on this car for months. I mean, dear jeez. Okay, the brakes work. Anyway, that got me. And nothing like seeing a deer run out in the middle of the road, right? And it's like, oh, by the way, are these brakes actually good? Because we've never really tried them. Have we tried the paddle shifters? I can't remember. Yeah. I think. Let me try hit the up. Yeah. Okay, we have paddle shifters too, man. That's something else that didn't work on the car before, was the paddle shifters. We're gonna get it back to the house, guys. I'm gonna take it out of the grass. I'm gonna let it sit in the driveway for the first time. I don't think this car has ever had the privilege of riding or sitting in the driveway. I am really proud of this car. If the hood cable wasn't broken and I could latch my hood, I would no, the tires are bad. And I had good tires, I'd absolutely drive this car home. I'm so happy that everything that I did to fix this car was free. And no BS, you saw it in the video. Charging the batteries fixed 90% of everything. Calibrating the steering angle sensor fixed most of the rest of it. And then simply reconnecting a ride height sensor that had come disconnected fixed the suspension. Everything we did today for this car cost absolutely nothing. Well, she is running just a tad bit rough, man, and the RPMs do seem a little higher than they should. I ran diagnostic, and there's several codes: ambient air temperature sensor, there's a RPM high idle, there is a I think it says there's an intake air leak, and that's probably maybe a PCV valve, PCV hose, something. But you can hear the idle change. Oh, she's running on all 12. Used to, when we first started with this car, the left exhaust pipe, and I know that there is like an H pipe in here, I understand that, but the left exhaust pipe was burning hot, the right exhaust pipe was cold. I mean, even after a run, it was just cold air. Now this is hot. Like this is properly hot. So I'm not entirely surprised that the engine's, not running perfectly right now. This car has been off the road for many, many years, judging by the date code on the tires. Half of the engine hasn't been working in God knows how long. That noise you hear is a cooling fan. That sounds perfect. I looked underneath it a minute ago and was surprised to see that there was no oil, no coolant, nothing is leaking out from under this car. No transmission fluid. It is sealed up nicely. Kind of surprised. Again, I would take this home. It probably needs fresh gas and stuff too. And we're still missing for the control module here. How do you turn these lights on? There we go. For this this display, somebody cut all of this, as a matter of fact. All of these buttons, heat, air conditioning, none of this stuff works because somebody cut all the wires from the back of it. So what I need, ideally, I believe this head unit works. I believe all of this works. What I need is the wiring. And I don't know where to find the wiring. I need the plugs and the wires so I can simply match them up, reconnect them, and bring the majority of this back to life. Again, and my spoiler light comes on when I turn it on. I don't know why. I guess it's just warning you that it's up. That's what that flashing light there is. If I push the button to put the spoiler down, the spoiler goes down like it's supposed to and the light goes away. I mean, surprisingly, most of the things work on this. Air conditioning is not working. It's blowing, but you can't control it. So there's no way to know. All I can tell you is it's just lukewarm. We have the locks that all work. The heated seats work. Sport suspension. Again, you can't see anything. It doesn't do it on that screen. I think all of that is controlled by this screen right here. I'm going to call this a pretty damn successful day. We took a car that I've left sitting here for months because I just knew there were some major problems, and we fixed the majority of the issues for absolutely free. I call that a win in my book all day long on a Bentley. I know it's running a little rough. There's some bugs to work out, but it's way better, way better than it was before. I need to find some tires for it. I need to actually try driving this car. I need to figure out that hood latch issue and try to get that fixed. There's a lot of little things I need to try to figure out on this car. But when you hit the throttle, I know it's idling a little rough, man, but I want you to watch the RPMs. Smooth as silk, man. Smooth as silk. There's a few things. Oh, that idle's way up there now. I need to check the boost pipes too. I wonder if a boost pipe or something is maybe come undone. I don't know. At the end of the day, there's a lot of little things to try to figure out. That idle is way up there. Come down. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I'm going to call this a win in my book. If any of you out there can find me the wiring harness for this 2005 Bentley Continental GT that goes to the climate control, there it goes revving up again, just randomly, that goes to the climate control, the stereo system, all of that stuff. You can find that, please send me an email or drop a link. Probably better to send me an email. The email is autoauctionrebuilds@gmail.com. That's rebuilds with an S at the end. autoauctionrebuilds@gmail.com. Drop me an email with a link. If you have one, you got one you want to sell, drop me a link, and we'll try to work something out. I would greatly appreciate it. With that, I'm going to take the car and go drop off a letter at the post office. Stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.